Introductions. Trashtalk episode 5. Welcome, guys. Jensen, longtime LCS player. Nisqy, also longtime pro player. Both of them, lots in common. Specifically, the fact that this last split, you guys have kind of taken off, which is really crazy considering how good you guys are. And yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Same.
Looks like Jensen just woke up 5 minutes
Me?
ago.
No. Of course not. I don't know.
Oh shit, I need to mute you on this thing so I don't hear you twice. Yeah, of course not, man. When did you wake up, by the way?
About 10 minutes ago.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just get started, I guess. Did you guys watch the C9 match? Or have you guys been keeping up with LCS?
Yeah, I'm only watching like top games.
So like playoffs only?
Yeah, playoffs. I mean, not like GGS games, but like C9, TL.
Yeah.
Teams. Pretty much it.
Yeah, it's fun. Who do you guys think is gonna win?
Ooh. I don't know. Hard to say, to be honest. I think they're all kind of even, but they're like very different teams. Is how I see it.
For me, I think 100 Thieves will win. I don't know why, but I feel like they will win again.
I'm with Nisqy, actually. I think 100 Thieves is a little better than everyone else. But yeah, anything can happen. They went 3-2 against TL both times, so it's like total record versus TL so far is 5-5, right? So pretty close.
They also have a Turkish player, so that's why they all win.
Oh, you're a Turkish pride.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you guys both played on C9. What do you think about the whole C9
Here we go.
drama? The drama about their systems, and then Sneaky came out and said that I don't know if you guys saw the clip. It was on Reddit, but basically, I went back to the VOD and watched, and he was saying stuff like, C9 makes it players do a lot of stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the game, and it's really frustrating. It takes away a lot of the time and stuff. Did you guys experience that when you were there?
I guess I can start. When I was there, I think it was less, I guess, extreme than it is now. I don't think we had mandatory workouts and stuff, but I think they implemented that and some other stuff after. But I mean, I was part of the initial system change with the whole benching and stuff and having everything just get changed. So that was a bit weird, but I think they made a lot of changes after I left.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, I think actually everything happened after Jensen left, to be honest. I felt like when I arrived, there was like that new system of like workout every day. I don't know what else was there, but I think that was the most that people complain about was the workouts in the mornings, which I also did not really like in the beginning. But then after a week or two, I was like, it's actually not bad. Like I slept easier, just had more energy and shit. So I was like, I don't mind it too much. Also, it was like everyone doing it together, so I felt like it was actually beneficial. But then, of course, some people just want to wake up and go right into scrims. But for me, I didn't mind it at all. I didn't really see what Sneaky said, like 100%, but I know he was like not a big fan of it as well.
Yeah, that's funny. I think every team is trying to do the same stuff now. Like, do they do that in EU, where they do like group team mandatory stuff like that?
I mean, in Fnatic, we had that as well, where like you were obligated to do it like twice a week, I think. That was the deal. I know some teams don't do it in Europe. I know some teams also enforce it, but I think it's just dependent on teams.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I feel like the systems go way more than just like mandatory workouts, though. They're definitely talking about. I mean, my assumption from the outside is like it also has to do with LS, where esports is getting like more corporate, and so you have to like do a lot more meetings than you did before. Like way back in the day, you just kind of like kick back and you're playing League with your friends. and like you just happen to be on a team together and like competing. But I feel like nowadays there's a lot more like corporate requirements. You know, like for example, if you're a coach, you have to do meetings with the CEO, or like you have to do meetings with the general manager, and then like I don't know, as players, there does seem to be like a little bit more like random requirements. Like even Faker was talking about this on stream a couple days ago. He was saying like he's so fucking stressed out because he has to prep for like MSI and Asia games, and he has to do mandatory streaming. And he's like saying like, oh man, I shouldn't have to stream if I don't want to, and I have to do sponsorship stuff and advertisement stuff. So I don't know. I feel like that stuff didn't really happen that much back in the day. Like getting more and more though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because now it's like there's more and more money involved, I feel like. And like the people get sponsors, and then you need to do stuff for the sponsors, right? And what can you do? It's like people that you have on your team are generating you these sponsors usually, or that's how you sell it, I believe. So for me, it makes sense. I do believe there should be like a limit though, because I know like some teams where you need to do like a lot of content every day, even like stream sometimes, mandatory, all that. I think it's fine as long as it's like limited. And I think it should also be like, if you have playoffs in like 2 days, then you should not be obligated to do like a #ad stream 1 day before you play or something like that, which sometimes happens to some players, but to me, it never really happened as much as Rogers.
Yeah, it just seems like common sense actually. Jensen, any thoughts? Nothing really.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like almost every org has more or less some of that kind of stuff now, where like you have to do 1 hour of sometimes useless meetings. But I don't know if C9 is very different in that aspect, at least. I think that's like more or less other orgs. I think it's just they probably have a lot of other stuff as well. I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know how much they changed since I left, but there's just a lot of useless meetings. But I think there is that in a lot of teams.
Yeah, I think people are just trying to speculate about C9 specifically because like they talk about it. They talked about it the most, right? The systems. That's why Ellis got kicked, and like also they had that shit with you and Sneaky getting benched, and how they like they're talking about how this is just how we do things at C9, and like now they're just imploding. They're like they just like shit themselves in playoffs, and I think people are just trying to figure out like I wonder what happened, but I mean realistically I think the players just played really bad. I don't really know if it has much to do with the org. I think the players played really fucking bad and they drafted really bad, and like no one knows why. Isn't it so crazy that their coach is going on stream and like just publicly shitting on their draft? And he's like he should be in charge of like doing the draft. It makes no sense.
Is that what Vagar did?
No, like that's what Vagar, sorry. I thought you said Faker. I was like, what? Yeah, Vagar V2, yeah.
I mean some of the drafts were very, very questionable, so it makes sense. But at the same time, I think this whole thing is like overblown because people love to blame the systems, but I mean the players did really run it down, some of them, so
yeah, that's true. I think it's hard to blame the system when you played that bad. What was I gonna ask? Oh, Nisqy, you recently kind of went back to Europe 2011, right? Or 2021 I should say.
Yeah.
2011. My bad. Do you miss NA yet? Or like do you miss anything about LCS?
I mean not necessarily. Because I just feel like LEC is kind of better IMO. Like it's just more fun to play, feels more familiar compared to LCS. And kind of being home, I guess, just feels good for me, So except the food in NA, I don't really miss it that much, no.
That's funny. Jensen, do you think you're ever gonna go back?
I think it's something I consider, but I think living in LA is a bit better than living in Berlin. So in terms of lifestyle, I think LA is better. But yeah, usually I think the EU scene feels a lot more fun. I think the people are usually like closer, and yeah, I don't know. That's at least like the feeling I got way back then. But I like living in LA more, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I feel like I'm talking to like a bunch of LCS players these days, and I think something that keeps coming up is like LCS players wanting to go to Europe because Europe's like getting bigger, you know, like it's growing, and the viewership is, I don't know, twice, maybe like 1.5 times, twice as much as it is in LCS. So, you know, it feels like less cool, I guess, to be in LCS as opposed to what it was like a few years ago. Because like when LCS and then it was called EU LCS at the time was happening, like, you know, EU was kind of the smaller region, and it's like less salary, less fans, you know, just like a smaller scene. But I don't know. I feel like, I mean, do you guys think that there will be a day when like fucking EU imports LCS players? Maybe. Would that ever happen?
I doubt it, but maybe.
Yeah, low chance. But I mean, it does seem like LCS is dying a little bit, at least compared to other regions.
Yeah.
But I think the chances of the imports happening is
dude,
very low.
it's so fucking crazy. Actually, I'm thinking about all the players that played in LCS and then went back to EU. There's actually a good number now. It's like you, BB Treats. There's like a decent number of people who Perks, Alphari. There's like people who just like did a vacation in NA and then came back. Do you think they?
Yeah.
Do you think that LEC is like way harder? Is it much different?
I mean, I feel like LEC is like more, it's like way harder, and I feel like as a competitor you actually need that as well, because I think when you scrim and the quality is like really low compared to when you scrim and the quality is like pretty high, where you actually need to like improve and stuff, and you get challenged way more. I feel like that's just way more exciting for a pro player than just having like whatever scrims, right? Even though I'm not saying EU scrims are like the best, I just think the quality of gameplay is just higher than NA. And yeah, I mean, as we said, like when I joined NV in like I think 2000, I think maybe 17, 18, something like that. Compared to now, it's like I think it's two different roles, you know. Back then, I got an NA offer. I was like, holy, like I'm so hyped. Now it feels like I'd rather be in LEC compared to LCS. And I think it's not like only me. I think it's just general feeling.
What about the salaries? Does NA pay higher still?
I believe so, yeah.
That's so crazy, dude. Especially since the viewership here is like, you know, now it's like much less than LEC. That's so crazy.
I mean, I don't know everything, but I think, I mean, I know some EU teams pay also good, but actually, I don't really know about NA that much.
So I mean, I tell you in LCS, like you don't have to tell me exactly what it is in LEC, but like the median salary in LCS is 400K. So that's the very minimum.
Yeah, I think it's definitely lower in EU, I believe.
Yeah, that's a bummer for you guys. I mean, people do come here for like the, you know, they come here for the paycheck. So that is interesting.
I heard it's not as bad as it used to be, but
yeah, it's slowly getting better.
Yeah,
I think LEC is catching up to LCS like pretty fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe it. I think like maybe in like a few years, hopefully league lasts that long though, but that would be nice, you know, if everyone could get the bag. Maybe that would actually encourage us to like, you know, focus on like developing native talent or something.
I mean, that's why I think it's important when you play in like LCS and LEC and stuff, because it's not gonna go forever, right? I think just getting a brand is just so OP, in my opinion. Some people just like don't stream much, for example, and some people like Yankos or I don't know, even Caps or whatever, you know, they actually just have a brand themselves right now. So even if they're done playing, they can just go stream and do whatever they want.
Yeah, whereas I feel like doing, right?
Some players don't really care about it, you know.
Aren't you popping? Like, isn't your stream popping off this split? I saw your numbers.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. It's going pretty good. Let's say it that way.
Yeah, must be nice.
Must be Jensen. What the fuck are you been doing for the last split, dude?
I don't know. I don't
moved
like
to
streaming
Vegas.
too much.
So you moved from LA to Vegas. You've been playing Champions Queue, obviously. I saw that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like streaming just makes me play worse, and I'd rather just focus on being in good shape.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, it's like this oxymoron too, where like streaming, it could hurt your brand. It could like, it could make you play worse, and it could, you could end up with like a negative reputation if like you have a streak of bad games or like you get tilted on stream or something. But it's like a way to increase your value to teams,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword. Is that why you did it, Nisqy? Like, or were you just bored? Like, why did you pick up streaming all of a sudden?
I mean, I wanted to play and then I couldn't play, so I was like, well, I have like 4 months, 4 to 5 months, like whatever, like what the fuck I'm gonna do, And then I was like, I'm just gonna stream because I enjoyed streaming before in French, and I was like, I'm just gonna try it again, and clicked. And then I started some coaching, some people, some famous streamers in France, and then it just snowballed. And now I'm just having fun with it, and it's just like a daily thing, If you do it for like 2 or 3 weeks, then it's just, for me, it just becomes natural at one point. But I would have to see if I were to come back to play, how I would handle that as well.
Oh, if you were to come back.
Yeah, if I was to come back, yeah.
Interesting. I saw a little leaky on Reddit a couple hours ago.
Really?
Those are just rumors, though, right?
Yeah, it's just rumors, dude.
Just rumors.
I don't trust rumors.
Join Mad Lions.
Yeah, do not trust rumors, guys.
I don't know if we can trust that.
Okay.
Yankos he's pretty reliable. He does not usually leak stuff on his stream. Yeah, it's okay. We don't have to talk about it since it's just a rumor. But
yeah, it's just a rumor, guys. I think it's useless.
Are you streaming in French? I actually, to be honest, I didn't really watch too much of your stream, but that's crazy how big.
French.
That's crazy how big the French scene is, dude. Like each regional scene is just so huge. You can get 7K viewers, and they're all.
For me, it's like, for me, it's like easier because I've been friends with like the Carmine Corp owner, and this guy is like one of the biggest streamers in France. So it's like I'm part of his like team-ish, I guess, or like his like close friends.
Yeah.
That's also like how I get so much visibility in France. So yeah, definitely helped. Sure.
That's pretty cool. That's actually kind of broken that you speak Turkish and French, right? And English, obviously.
And Dutch.
Really?
I mean, like Flemish. Yeah.
For like fluently?
I mean, Dutch, no, but the 3 others, yeah.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Jensen can barely speak English.
Yeah, I'm struggling. This is hard.
Dude, do you have Danish pride still, Jensen? I wonder like what the Danish scene is like. You know how like Spain and France have like crazy big scenes?
Yeah,
like,
that's not a thing.
Why is that not a thing in Denmark?
It's probably because just LA is just bigger than Denmark, so Denmark is just very small.
Really? Like Denmark is really small compared to France?
Yeah.
Let me look at Denmark population.
Yeah, it's for sure smaller, no? I think
it's 6 million.
Yeah,
that's shit. France is 67 million. Okay, yeah, I see why there's no Danish scene. I did not know Denmark was so tiny. But there's more Danish pros than French pros, which is really weird.
True.
So they gotta step it up. Yeah.
I did not know that. I for some reason I thought that Denmark was like as big as some of the like most of the other European countries, but I'm just a stupid American. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Yep. So this last split you guys took off, we're gonna get to the offseason part, but like obviously you guys still keeping up. Like I'm sure Nisqy, you're watching LEC, and Jensen, you're still watching LCS. Like, how do you think about watching it from the outside? You guys first time doing that, right? Like not playing. Is it painful? Is it like motivating? How's it feel?
I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm watching it, but LCS looks like an all-time low. The quality looks really shit, but maybe I was just delusional when I was playing, and it was actually this bad when I was playing too. But yeah, watching the games, doesn't look the best right now. In LCS at least.
I mean, for LEC, I feel like the level is actually not that low in some teams. But I feel like just in globally, I think EU actually lost some level compared to last year's even. I feel like the only team that was actually pretty good this split was G2. And except them, like Rogue was good, but we knew that they would not do the best in playoffs. Then FNC had their issues, right? So I think in EU doesn't look the best, to be honest. But it's always like that in spring anyways, because new players, new teams, they need to get used to each other. So hopefully it like picks up in summer, because other region just looks so much better. So yeah.
So you're saying the West is doomed at MSI?
Maybe.
Oh, I think. Yeah.
I mean, G2 can do something, I think.
Yeah, G2 can always do something, but NA is looking pretty doomed, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And like we're also like me and Nisqy, like fucking, we're thinking 100 Thieves is the best team, but like I don't have the most confidence in them at MSI. You know, like watching every other region's best team and then watching 100 Thieves, I'm like, whoa, we're kind of fucked. But that's kind of expected. I think LCS at this point, every time we come internationally, like we're underdogs. We're huge underdogs. So I'm not that sad about it. Do you guys, when you guys watch mid specifically, do you feel like, holy shit, I can do so much better than this guy? Because like I've felt that over the last 2 years.
I mean, when I watched, I was like, okay, are they just playing bad, or like is the level like that low even when I played before, or like maybe when you watch the games you just see stuff that you don't really see whenever you're playing it, right? So for me, I just felt like the level was pretty low in mid, in LEC and LCS both. Made me believe. I was thinking like, okay, like there's the guys playing there, so why the hell am I not playing there as well? You know?
Yeah.
And my expectation, like if I were to come back, let's say, then I think I would be like a top LEC/LCS mid, and yeah, I think people can expect that from me. So.
Yeah, I haven't watched too much LEC, but watching LCS has been pretty painful. There hasn't really been any mid laner that has stood out too much. I think Jojo plays lane very well, but everything else is not so well. Yeah, it just, maybe it was just because I'm not playing, but yeah, watching LCS mid laner this off season has been pretty tough for my eyes for sure.
I mean, we're talking about LCS specifically because I didn't watch too much LEC either. I think you're totally right. I think mid is probably the weakest that it's ever been in LCS. For the longest time, it was basically just you and Bjergsen beating everyone up. And then I feel like now, I mean, I'm kind of biased because I played with both of you guys, right? But like, I feel like you guys made each other better by playing against each other, since you play really differently, but you both play like at a high level. Maybe Nisqy can talk about this too, since he played against both of you. But like, there was usually only like 2 to 3 good mid laners in LCS, and everyone else was like kind of shit. And now I feel like with mid the way that it is, like I don't really see any standout mid laners. Like I think Jojo looks fine to good. You know, I think Bjergsen looks fine to good, but no one is like, whoa, this guy's smurfing. You know, he's taking over from mid. I mean, I remember I was watching LEC, and like Caps is just like, he's popping off. You know, he's playing Ahri, I think he played Silas, and he popped off too. And it was like amazing to watch, because I don't see that performance in NA. Like really sad.
I mean, for me at least, like when the time I played in NA, 2 years, I always remembered. I think actually Jensen would actually only play like control mages from what I remember, and then I felt like everyone else would just follow whatever Bjerg and Jensen would play, because they were like at the top, right? And that's when I realized, okay, that's why NA is playing so passively, I guess, right? Because like in EU, everyone has their picks, everyone plays whatever they want, everyone just like trusts their guts and they just play like assassins, melees, whatever they want. And then in NA, it's like mostly farming, scaling, playing slow, and that's also what everyone looks up to. And then at the end, I remember when I was playing like Rumble, Kiana, Aurelia and stuff, I was the only one, I believe, that would like play these picks, you know, and then everyone would play like Orianna and LeBlanc and just control mages in general. And then I felt that as well when I came back to EU, where one guy, I think it was Caps, would only play like melees and like really aggressive stuff, and then Larson would only play like control mages. So then you need to be able to play against both, and then that makes you like practice harder and kind of adapt yourself to other champions and find other counters, all of that. Whereas in NA, everyone plays the same stuff and just everyone just does the same. I feel.
Yeah.
This is why Reddit loved players like Demonte.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That made me cringe so hard. Holy shit. Actually, yeah, somebody said don't forget about Jizuke. I mean, that guy played whatever the fuck he wanted. I respected that. He was fun to watch. Actually, he looked good because he played whatever he wanted, and like obviously sometimes he would look horrible, but
he had no fear. Respect.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice like European mindset. Just come in, like play what you believe is good, but like play it well. Obviously, if you play what you think is good and you're like shit at the game, then like you're not gonna look good ever. I was just wanted to know what you guys thought about, you know, the state of mid lane and stuff, because obviously both you guys are looking to come back, right? Like that's the end goal. And sometimes when you have this like break, because I had the same situation happen in 2017 when I took a break and I was looking at 80 carries analysis. I'm like, wow, I'm like better than everyone here. Like there's no world where I would come back and I would lose to this guy, because I'm watching him play and it's like, it's disgusting. Like it makes me cringe. And I don't know, maybe you guys have experienced the same feeling of just like, whoa, like now that I have this experience where I'm not playing, like I know what kind of player I want to be. Like it gives you like perspective on I guess the player that you want to become and the level that you want to play at, because yeah, you're watching two people and they're both terrible and they're playing against each other getting paid. It feels really bad.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is that, okay, like I think I'm better than X player, but also I think you should not get like overconfident, because like after taking a break, you don't really know where your level is at usually. Maybe me and Jensen would come back and then we're like both shit. We're like both the worst NA and EU mids or whatever. I think we should not get like ahead of ourselves, right? But I believe if we're like disciplined and we analyze the game from outside, then we can see whatever mistakes some players do. And I think it's actually, at least for me, it felt like a good break, you know? Not tryharding for like 4 months, playing scrims every day is something I miss. So yeah, for sure, if I come back, then I would like try hard so much more, you know? Not that I did not when I was playing, but like it gives you that hunger back.
Yeah. You feel the same way, Jensen?
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure been refreshing to take a break, and you know, when you're taking a break, you're also worried like if you decide to come back, like how is your level gonna be? But you know, after watching the players play, like there's no doubt in my mind that I would still be a top player, because yeah, the level has looked a little sus.
Oh yeah, especially in LCS. Do you guys miss the schedule? Like the just start to finish every day. You don't have to think about what you're gonna do. It's already laid out for you. I definitely miss that.
Yeah, it's hard to feel productive without having a LCS schedule, for me at least. It's been hard to feel like I have a routine as much. I think that's what I miss the most.
Yeah, I hella missed that in the beginning.
The system, yeah.
The systems. I just miss not having to decide what I want to do. Honestly, I'm a bit of like a drone. Like I don't even want my like free will that much. Now I appreciate it since I'm at it for like 2 years. But like, you know, if somebody just told me, yo, this is a schedule, man. You're gonna wake up this time, you're gonna go to the gym, or you're gonna do this thing, and then show up to the meeting, and then you're gonna be done with practice at 7. Then you're gonna go home and play solo queue. I'm like, damn, I'm stoked. Like I'm so excited because I'm down to follow a routine, but life just feels kind of weird when you're not in a routine. Did you ever have that problem, Nisqy, or did you just immediately get into the routine of streaming so you're already productive?
I mean, I had it in the beginning where I didn't know what to do, and then after 1 or 2 days, you get bored really fast. Because like you have nothing to do, you wake up, you don't know what to do, you go to sleep at whatever time because you have nothing to do the day after. So for me, that's how I was like, okay, I need to commit to something, and then I committed to streaming, and I felt like I was forced to stream every day at this time, or else I would get like annoyed, or like I would not be that serious towards like my community. So I was like, that's something I would do, and it's been working for now, and I feel like my days have actually have some sense, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. Routine's really fucking important. I wanted to ask you guys about the off season. November 2021. It's like everyone's most stressful time as a pro player between seasons. You don't know if you're getting replaced, or you also don't know like who your teammates are going to be if you aren't getting replaced. But for both of you guys, like, it's really fucking weird that you couldn't find a team since both of you were top performers. Like you would both literally just went to Worlds, right? Like it literally makes no fucking sense, because even at Worlds, you guys were good performers for your teams, like individually. So it wasn't like, oh, you went to Worlds, got carried, and then like you shit the bed, and now at World, like, like people only look at your most recent games. So if you like fed your ass off at Worlds, then people are like, oh, this guy, he just made it because he got carried. Like you guys both played well, so it makes no sense that you wouldn't be able to find a team. So where did it go wrong? Like how did you guys end up in the situation where you're at, where you're just like watching from the outside?
I can start. I mean, there's actually something that I said. I don't know where I said it, but I said in an interview that I feel like if your team is not gonna perform good at Worlds, as a player, as an individual, it's actually better to not even qualify for Worlds, because everyone just looks at whatever happens last, and then they just judge you of that. But no one thinks like, okay, these 3 teams go to Worlds. Each of these players are like top 3 in the region, so they must have a spot in like some top 5 team in their region, which would make sense, right? But I feel like I don't know why people just look at Worlds and they're like, if you play bad, oh, this guy's shit is like 8th placed mid in his region, and then if someone does good, and it's like, oh, he's like suddenly top 1, even though he was like 3rd seed going into Worlds. And I feel like that's something, just recency bias, or I don't know, we call it that thing. I think it's getting into people's head too much, and it's sad to see.
Yeah, that definitely happened to Biofrost, where he couldn't find a team, like, or at least a reasonably good team, not a 10th place team after Worlds, because we got ran over. But it's like, how did we make it to Worlds? Obviously, he had to play better than every other support, and we're like 2v2 killing Core JJ Tactical in a best of 5. It's like, it's crazy that people will only look at your last game. So you think that but the thing is about Fnatic is like, you can always cope, and the community already knows that like your team imploded, like literally fucking your AD carry just dipped. So how could you be expected to like perform well? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, people also don't have like everything. They don't know everything, but they just see the gameplay. Like, they did not see that we just lost our AD carry like 12 hours before we play, and we had to play with our sub, even though they played pretty good. Like, everything just changed in the team, like communication, your dual lane, Hylissang had to play with a new AD, like all those stuff people don't realize, like your mental state, the pressure, like environment, all that shit, people don't see it, and unless you talk about it, no one will notice it. And I felt like, at least myself, when I was to Worlds, like in 2021, I said it already, I was in like probably the worst mental state I ever been in my career, even though I thought it would not affect me, it did, because we're just humans at the end. So
you talking about specifically at Worlds or the whole year?
No, for me, mostly at Worlds. I did not care about what happens during the splits, because I knew at the end we would make it, just because felt like we had that culture where like we actually wanted to go there to Worlds.
Yeah.
But then when you go there and then stuff happens, then it gets really to your head, You're thinking about the whole year and why did we even make it then and all that and random stuff.
No, it's fucking depressing. Jensen, what was your offseason like?
Ooh,
I actually, it's funny, because I probably know more about this behind the scenes shit than like most people would, but I want to know your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it all started with after Worlds. You know, we were all really fucking sad. Another year of 3-3 at Worlds, and yeah, even then, right after Worlds, actually, I remember. I think the same night I went to the bar together with Core, and then after that at maybe like 5 or 6 a.m. the same night that we lost or tiebreaker series against Genji, I basically just brought it up to Core, me swapping to AD carry because I thought that things weren't really working out, and I thought maybe this is the step I needed to take, and he seemed pretty in on it. I mean, of course, if we could find a better AD carry, that would be the best solution. But it seemed like there wasn't really gonna be anyone available at the time. So then that was when we initiated the plan role swap. And so of course we tried to get Bjergsen, but then little did I know that at the same time TL was trying or talking to Hansama at the same time as well. It wasn't until I went to Disney World with some people from TL that I saw on Reddit that it was leaked that Hansama joined Team Liquid that I found out that I got the short stick. I don't really know much else that happened.
Dude, it's so fucking funny to me still that the only reason why you even lost job security is because you opened up the team to the idea that you could role swap.
Yeah.
Because it like, I guess for background, like, I really don't think that TL would have even considered getting Bjergsen if there wasn't a possibility of having Bjergsen and you on the team. And then, right, like, so now they're in the situation where they're making a bid for Bjergsen because they're like, oh, we're going to have Bjergsen and we're going to have a good AD carry. And then they're like, wait, maybe Jensen AD carry is too risky. So we'll keep the Bjergsen idea and we're going to get the best AD carry from LEC. And it's like, wow, we get the best of both worlds. But then, like, you're just fucked at that point and the only reason why you're fucked is because you, like, I guess you wanted to improve the team, right? Like, you wanted to make the team stronger. That's at so the time, sad.
I mean, I thought that I would be a better mid laner than Bjergsen, obviously, because he hadn't played for a year. So I thought, ultimately me swapping would still make the team better if I could also help him come back in shape. But yeah, I kind of got backstabbed a bit there. But to be honest, like, I don't really blame him too much for getting Hansama when they had the chance to. It's just a bit unfortunate how everything turned out the way it did, and maybe I do think that they should have kept me over Bjergsen after they decided to go for Hansama, but ultimately that's their call.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's extremely fucked up what happened to you. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, what can you really do? That's just how esports goes sometimes, I guess.
I think what's really extra fucked up about the whole thing is, like, let's just say that from TL's perspective, they wanted to, they were gonna let you go, and they were going, but like the negotiation between Bjergsen and Hansama took so long. So because they're hot topics, right? Because Bjergsen and Hansama probably have like 15 offers from like 15 LEC plus LCS teams. So before they can, in their eyes, like, before they can let you know that you should go look for another team, they need to lock in your two replacements, or else they're just gonna, like, they don't want to break the trust with you and be like, oh, we're actually thinking about literally, like, you're off the team, because that's gonna make you feel resentment towards them if it doesn't work out with Hansama or Bjergsen. So they let you know as late as possible that you should go look for another team, and at that point, there's no more spots. I think
Yeah.
there was like multiple layers of fucked upness where you ended up without a spot. Because I mean, at the end of the offseason, your real only option is probably like the shittiest team in LCS.
Yeah, it was. That's pretty much how it was, right? And then that plus the buyout definitely didn't help. So it was pretty much impossible to get on the team at that point.
Yeah, I think realistically, this wasn't a case of like, oh, you know, offseason starts, Jensen's up for grabs, and like all 9 other LCS teams like, no, we don't want him. I think it was a case of like, most LCS teams didn't even know, so they already locked in a new mid laner by that time and like had finalized the contract and stuff before they even knew that you were available. So that felt like shit. That offseason I was also entertaining the idea of playing. And so I was definitely very aware of like who was available and who wasn't and what teams were getting what rosters. And like, dude, there's so much funny shit happening. Like, but yours is particularly fucked up.
Yeah, I think I got clout the most for sure.
So
that's how it goes.
So Nisqy, like from yours, from your experience in the offseason, was it anything like that? Where like, do you think the timing was really bad? For like when you got announced as a free agent, or was it just like the horrible Worlds reputation? I would assume, by the way, that like most reasonable players would be like, yeah, Nisqy's fucking good, but his AD carry dipped. Like, we shouldn't really be holding Worlds against him. Like, so what do you think the main reason was that you couldn't get a team after that?
I mean, okay, so like for me, it's like I did not know if I would stay or not. But by the time I knew I was out, I think maybe 70 or 80% of LEC was already locked. So many teams were kind of interested, but it was like,
Jitters.
I was really thinking about it. But then also I didn't want to be the guy that would be like, yo, like just take me, you know, like I'm out, you know. Because that also ruins like your like deal with the other teams and stuff like that as well. Plus you still have a buyout on your head as well. So for me it was just easy decision. I was like, I mean, there's nothing, I'm not gonna join whatever team there is there. I will just wait and I will look to come back even stronger than before, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. I mean, still though, you're saying like 7 out of 10, you're saying like most of the LEC teams, by the time you were told like, yo, you gotta find a new team, like the options are really slim at that point, right?
Yeah,
and like maybe those are the teams that like might have a negative view of you, or the roster is so bad it's not even worth like damaging your reputation to play for that kind of team. So
yeah, because like also like at that point, like so many teams already like talked, you know, with like players and agreed already on like the terms and everything. And then even though there's like another player that like could be potentially better compared to like, for example, a free agent guy or someone that's like a bit less better but has no buyout, then it changes stuff for sure. And then also it's like, I don't know, it takes time, you know, doing a contract, agreeing on terms, all of that stuff. It just takes some time, and people usually just go for like security way and kind of secure their team beforehand. So
yeah, that's also really bad. I'm surprised that you're not more upset about that, because you guys both played for the biggest teams in the region, basically, you know, Team Liquid and Fnatic, and like obviously these teams have a lot of power, and the fact that they let you guys out when the timing was so bad for you, if you know it, like in a fair world, obviously you're an employee, like you're under contract, you work for this company, but also, you know, if you kind of expect that in the off season you're gonna be told right away, yo, we're kind of like looking, we're not really sure if you have a spot on the team, so like maybe you should look, you know, maybe just giving you that like option of like, just in case we do replace you, you know, we still want you to have a team, a good team. I feel like that's kind of what people expect, and every time it doesn't happen, it feels really bad.
Yeah, I mean, for me in the beginning, I was really upset with the way everything was done, from getting Humanoid to replace me, the timing, Then buyout shit happened as well. And then there was the thing that at Worlds also happened, and that was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before I was like allowed to like look for teams, right? So I still had that was like so fresh in my head. So I was really angry, I guess, against Fnatic. But then after that, like some months ago, 2 or 3 months ago, or 4 months ago, they just kind of explained to me this date, this happened, this happened, this happened, and then it made some sense. Even though I still feel bad about it, but at the end, it's just business. It's sports.
Yeah.
Players don't really choose everything. And yeah, we're just, I don't know, it's like not necessarily pieces, but like orgs just choose who they want to keep and not, and you're just there playing, you know. But at least at the end, usually it's like I don't really hate people, especially in esports. I feel like it's still new. Everything is still so young. So for me, I don't really care. It's like past, sorry, and I'm just looking forward, you know. And if I play against Fnatic in the future, then I will for sure try to beat them. But except that, all good happen.
Yeah. That's good. Good mindset, of course. You have to move on. You're not just gonna stay bitter fucking permanently about that.
Yeah, it's useless.
So, sorry, one last thing I have to ask. I know that you can't say anything, but like, you know that whole upset shit that happened? Like, do you actually think, did you think that it was a justified reason? You don't have to say the actual reason, but like at the time, did you think that it was like a real good reason?
I would like to not comment on that.
What? What's the
see.
juice?
That's the juice. See, really, it's about what you're not saying, and I feel like if there was a really good reason, you would say, "Okay, you know, I'm not gonna keep trying. But that, All I'm gonna say is like that whole situation is so fucking funny, and upset wifey memes are like literally the funniest shit I've seen in my life. All right, I had to ask. Yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna get a good answer there.
Happens.
I
mean, I already said like before. I already said in like one of the podcasts that like I don't hate the person for it. It's just really sad on how it happened, and then whatever happened after as well. That like nothing got fixed, nothing happened even after Worlds and stuff. So for me, it was just a really unfortunate situation. Everyone goes on with their life, and
yeah,
it's life. Like you can control 5 players on your team, so
yeah.
It is how it is.
That totally makes sense. What else is there? Fuck. I mean, I was talking to Jensen yesterday about. Let's move on to current events. More current events. Did you see the Alphari stuff, Nisqy? Alphari versus
I saw a bit of it. Yeah,
fighting?
that Jensen said that he couldn't play Gwen. That he refused to play Gwen.
There we go.
Jensen said something along the lines of, "I stand behind Jett, and Alphari is the worst."
Yeah,
Something
that's
like
what I
that.
said. Paraphrasing.
Yeah, dude, that made Alphari
yeah.
look so bad. That tweet.
Yeah, it felt a bit bad because I mean my intentions was definitely not to like go after him anyway. It was just there's like an event in response to I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We're
I
talking
think we were
about how
talking about
Summit refuses to play tanks. You know, he only plays whatever he's good at, and he doesn't learn anything new. And then we're obviously all bringing up examples of like ourselves or our former teammates, and it's like, I just think the best response in that, if he does want to respond, most people just fucking, they don't give a fuck. You know, this is like over a year ago. No one's gonna care. But like, you know, if you're gonna say something that makes you look good, you're just gonna say like, I'm not that player anymore. You're not just gonna come up as a big salty baby and be like, oh my god, Jensen's such a Jett fanboy. He didn't even say that you're wrong, by the way. He didn't even say like, no, that's not even true. He's like, yeah, that might be true, but Jensen hates Jett. Boom, headshot.
Yeah,
It's like such a deflect.
I felt a bit personal.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't have said something. My bad.
No, I mean, I think we should all be allowed to say stuff like that because, you know, bringing up stories in the past, it's all good stuff to learn from, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
We're always all improving and learning.
It was meant just to be, you know, a funny event from the past that happened. It wasn't meant to hurt anyone's feelings, but it didn't come across that way, unfortunately.
Dude, you better hope you don't meet Alphari again IRL.
Yeah.
Wars is in NA, so actually they will not make it.
saying he's
I
not
don't think
going?
Alphari's going.
Yeah, don't worry. It's
So what do we think about Alphari, guys? Because in NA he was a bit of a meme player.
I don't know
mean,
him at all.
yeah. I mean, I actually really liked him as a teammate, so it felt a bit bad that he said this, but you know, he obviously has his fair problems as well. But yeah, I don't really know. I don't really want to trash talk the guy because I actually really like him as a person. This whole thing felt kind of shitty, to be honest, because I didn't want to be on his bad side, but
Yeah, of course
unlucky.
not. Yeah, no, it's definitely not in anyone's best interest to be on anyone's bad side in esports because you know that's like a potential door that gets shut in the future. I mean, in NA, like he has the reputation, right? Just to give you context, Nisqy, of like he's the guy who smashes his lane and doesn't do anything after like 15-20 minutes. And so like people were really amazed with his laning stats, but then it kind of got flipped because in playoffs he wouldn't really perform as well as in the regular season, and he wouldn't really have as dominant of an early game as in the regular season when he's just like shitting on everyone in lane. And then after lane, you know, people were basically saying like the guy doesn't really like, he seems kind of invisible. You know, he's not the kind of top laner who makes like big plays or team fights super well. I wonder if like that narrative has changed since he's in EU because I don't watch, so I have no idea.
I have no idea. I mean, I know he's good in lane. I mean, that's the only thing I know about Alphari. That's been said, you know, like he's good in lane.
Yeah.
Pretty much it. I mean, being a good laner in top is like one of the most important skills, I believe.
Yeah.
Makes him a good top laner.
Yeah, I think lately people would argue not dying to ganks is an important top lane quality too, but yeah, laning is the most important thing as a top laner for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, like Impact is fucking insane, and he doesn't usually smash his lane.
Yeah,
I think
But
he's
he's
good
also
in
playing
lane
in
though.
NA.
I'm not sure.
I think Impact. Yeah, he's a weird player because I think he's one of the smartest top laners I've played with. Probably is. I think he just understands how to play weak side really well and not lose lane.
I just
Lose
think Impact knows
gracefully.
how to be useful in any
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Like, given resources or getting permanently dove by the enemy, like jungle mid, I would almost always, and maybe this is just my personal bias, right? Because I like people like I like to play with heavy resources, but I would always rather play with a player like Impact than you know, a strong side king.
Agreed.
That always feels so good. I mean, we're playing opposite sides of the map, so that feels pretty obvious. But like, yeah, I have a lot of respect for Impact for that reason. Nisqy, who's your top laner on C9?
Licorice.
Oh, I see. Damn, you never got a chance to play with Impact then.
No.
They're very different. They're very different.
Yeah, there was a chance in off-season, but never happened.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Not this off-season, like in the past.
Yeah. That is interesting. Hold on. I had a really crazy fucking story that got written down here in a sec. Where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Jensen, did you know that in 2015, you know when you were trying out for C9, it was like when you first came to NA for the first time and you changed your name from Incarnation to Jensen. Did you know that C9 was asking Bjergsen if he thought Pobelter or you was better? And at the time, Bjergsen said, Pobelter is better right now, but Jensen will be better in the long run. Did you know that? And that's why they picked you?
I had no idea. No. Wow.
It's like random alternate history because sometimes like Pobelter will bring up the time that he almost joined C9 and that was the time.
Really? Because they were that was when Yusui was trying out as well, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing was so weird because what happened was I signed with C9 probably like 2 or 3 months before going to LA. Like, so basically when I couldn't play at the time, and they just made it seem like I was gonna be playing, right? And then I come over and I'm like trying out against 2 other players, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? I did not expect this. But I guess Bjergsen saved my career.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny you bring up Yusui. Like, that guy's been floating as like a up and coming mid laner for like 7 years. We're talking about 2015, and C9 is trying out Yusui and Pobelter and you. And
Yeah.
no, it's really cool that you got the spot. You actually also saved my team since that was, wait, I'm trying to think. 2015.
That was when Pobelter joined CLG instead, right?
Yeah, he joined CLG and then we ended up winning. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember right as I signed with C9, like probably about like a week after, Hotshot like reached out to me. So it's funny to think about, like it could have been a much different timeline.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many random alternate timelines. Speaking of which, how did you end up on C9, Mr. Nisqy?
Oh, actually, that's a funny one as well. Okay, so I was in Splice. Okay, so I did Envy and then I won Splice in EU. And then Splice lost their spot in LEC to like franchising system.
Dude, you
And
smurfed.
then-
I just remembered that was the Splice Casio play, right? Where you like won
Yeah,
forward?
it was like when I was playing Casio and Zoe only.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Good times. And then I was at that point, I was never really on like a top team, so I was like, okay, this time I must go on a top team. And then that's when Caps went to G2. And then Fnatic was like, okay, maybe I was like, okay, I want to join Fnatic in EU. Back then, I believe it did not happen. I don't know what reason, but it did not happen basically. It was like something happened. I think they rather sold me to NA or something compared to EU because I was pretty good. And I was like, okay, I mean, I don't mind. And Fnatic or C9 both were pretty good for me. And then I went C9, and basically that's how it happened. I remember first conversation with Jack is like, I think that's when you guys did not win for like 4 years or something in C9. Or like 4 splits or something like that. I don't remember. And then I was like, he was like, yo, I'm looking to win, you know? And I was like, just get me and you will win. I told him, you will win 1 split in the next 2 years, 100%, if you let me play 2 years. And then, I mean, I guess he won a split like in 2020 spring. Yeah, I gave Jack his trophy. That's
That was
basically
when
how
we
it
were in
happened.
9th place.
Oh my god, that was my my god. We don't talk about that.
Actually, oh my god, Peter, I'm calling you Peter.
It's okay, you can call me Peter.
You were actually, dude. Zven and Vulcan were like just shitting on everyone. It was
Yes.
actually it was not even funny.
I'm not even kidding. Zven and Vulcan, that split were like one of the best bot lanes in the whole world. They were like, I don't know, they were like top 10 bot lanes in the world, straight up. Like, they were so fucking good. Like, obviously, like me and Core were slumping, but
I just don't understand, like, why would they try so hard when spring just doesn't matter?
I don't get it either. They lost their juice for summer. Those idiots.
They ran out.
They actually fell off in summer. I'm just
We
saying.
ran out, actually, that's true. So, man, it was such a shame that there was no MSI. Holy moly.
I know
Could have changed our whole life.
That seriously sucks. I actually don't remember. Did you guys make worlds that year?
No, we finished 4th.
That's so fucking sad because I'm looking at your guys' win-loss in 2020. 44 and 13.
Yeah.
That's insane. The whole year long, 44 and 13. You guys were so fucking dominant. And it just, I mean, like, what I said actually did come true, right? Like, spring split actually doesn't matter, but it feels like shit. I always tell Riot that, like, spring split should count for actually something. Because I think, like, actually Riot did change something because there was a year where, like, 100 Thieves made worlds, but they definitely didn't deserve it. Because, like, 100 Thieves made finals and they won off of points, but, like, I don't know. I thought that was just so stupid, right? Because you guys are so dominant and, like, they cancel MSI. You guys win spring, and then you barely don't get top 3 in summer, and all of a sudden that just means you don't get to go. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Actually, I still remember when we were playing, we were just like pumping everyone, and then I see this thing on Reddit that like more than 50% of LCS teams said yes to like cancel the split or something. And then we're like, what the fuck is going on in this region? You know, like, how can that happen?
No, it's super troll. Well, I'm trying to think. Was there anything interesting that happened in that season? Do you guys remember anything interesting? Obviously, for me, I had a fucking crazy season where like somehow we ended up 9th place, and we were definitely not the 9th best team, which makes no sense. Like, I still don't understand how the fuck we got 9th place, because at the end, I thought we were like really good, and we're like 1 game away from making playoffs, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you guys played against us.
Yeah, and we almost won.
It was last game of the season, I believe, or something like that. It was us against you, and then Zven and Vulcan like backdoored.
Yeah.
With Senatam Kench, I think.
Yeah. That
and
was
then
how
we were so happy. Like, it felt actually better than winning the split, to be honest.
Yeah, I felt so bad. I was like, holy shit. And then I got replaced by Tactical, and then I had to find a team, so I joined TSM. But then we made the miracle run, and we knocked everyone out. Get fucked.
Dude, I don't even remember how we ended up 9th place. The only like memory I have from that split is like Impact playing like Zac top against Soaz. And we just came to the conclusion, wow, that's a garbage pick. But I don't remember any other game how we went 9th place.
Dude, that entire split, like, I know that I had the shittiest attitude known to man, and like I don't like have much resentment about getting replaced because of my horrible attitude about spring split not mattering. But like, literally everyone was running it down for our team. Like, let's be completely honest here. Like, Core JJ was actually sprinting it. Impact was sprinting it. I remember I had a talk with Cain about spring, and I was telling him like, I'm fucking burnt out. Like, I just feel really shitty about this whole thing, because I already knew that MSI was canceled. Like, it was, I don't know how you guys didn't know, but like I already knew. And so I was like, spring is just worthless. And then Cain was telling me something like, okay, the thing is that you guys are both playing bad, right? But Impact's trying and you're not. So that's why like Impact, you know, that's why I'm like nicer to Impact about this. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because like we're all just sprinting it down. Like, and C9 is just the best team by far. You guys had an insane bot lane. I'm trying to remember. So you're still playing with Licorice at the time and Blaber, right?
Yeah. Basically, we're playing push mid no matter what. Blaber winning jungle no matter what. And ball lane always won. Whatever of matchup, they would just win.
I know.
And Licorice was just being.
So, I actually one good question to ask both of you guys is like, you guys both played with Blaber, and he's still playing in LCS right now. Like, what was your experience like with him?
I guess I can go first. I think he was probably my favorite jungler to play with. It's super easy to play with him, and you know, he always knows what he wants to do, and it's always really clear to the team. And he's just really good at seeing angles, a lot better than other junglers for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure something I think that I really like about Blaber that I don't really see I guess that I didn't see in NA junglers. It's like, I don't know, he has that sense that like knows whenever a fight is good or not. Even though sometimes he just runs it, but that's also part of it, right? You can just have a perfect player. And yeah, I liked him as a jungler. I don't know how he's good, how he is right now, but back then he was pretty fucking good. I mean, he even got MVP, I think, one of the splits.
Yeah, I mean, my perception is kind of the same as you guys. I think it's really good, and I feel like there's certain players that I realize it's like they will sometimes run it, and I can tell that they're like getting shut down mentally, and then there's players who will run it and they're comfortable, like it doesn't affect them. Like they still see the game with the same like mindset of like what's good, what's bad, like how do I make the most impact as like, I love those kind of players. You know, I love playing with the people who aren't afraid of having a bad game. Like they know that League is a risky game. You have to take risks. Sometimes you have to just like flip the fucking burger and just take a mechanical fight. And if you lose it, whatever, you know, move on. I really like those kind of players. I think Blaber is like the most memed player who's actually just still like, he's still the best. Like I still think he's the best in his role. Maybe you could argue like Santorin's better than him. You could argue Blaber's better, but like, I feel really bad for him.
Really good too. I don't know much about Closer, but Closer always seems to have really clutch plays as well.
You're right. Closer's actually insane. So he has good competition for sure.
I think
can't say he's the
jungle's actually really strong in NA this split compared to in the past. Like in the past, Blaber would just run everyone, but now there's like a lot of really good junglers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another one is that's kind of interesting is Jensen, did you ever play with Zven? You never did, right?
The 80 carry or the jungler?
The 80 carry, the 80 carry.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. But Nisqy was talking about how Zven and Vulcan were running the server, and like it made me also think that he's kind of similar to you guys. He ended up like getting kind of screwed, right? He ended up getting like last second, like, yo, just kidding, bro. Like, we know we told you how to spot, but actually, you're gonna be the scrim bitch, and we're gonna play with Berserker. And he's like, wait, what? No options at that point. He has no choice. He's just gonna be the scrim bitch. But like, how do you guys feel about Zven not having a job and kind of just floating? There's also a rumor that he's gonna roll swap to support for C9.
Okay.
I mean, I think at first I don't really know like his whole situation, how it happened, but I did hear like he was supposed to be started, but I also heard that no other teams wanted him. But I'm not sure if this was like a case of, it being too late or not, because I think they were trying to help him find a team, but just wasn't possible. But I don't know. I think hard to say what really happened there.
Mm-hmm. But do you guys think he's good? Do you guys think he deserves to be an LCS or LEC, I guess?
I mean, I think if you put the right people around him, I think he can be still one of the best. I just think that he sees the game one way, I guess, and he doesn't get like convinced otherwise, which is fine if he plays really good, I think, because he knows how to play around bot. But sometimes that's not really the case, and yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I think he will, or like should at least come back.
I think he's stubborn.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
tons
lots
of
of
players
ADCs
are like
that.
that. I don't think that's really that unusual. Like players who, it's like when they're comfortable, they're playing amazing, and when you like take them out of it, like when you put them in a spot that like they just really don't like, and they get kind of emotional about it, then they kind of play like a lot worse. I've definitely noticed that playing against Zven. Like I think he's amazing. Like I think he definitely deserves to be an LCS. And I put him top 4 on my tier list because like he obviously took a split off, right? But like I think it's troll as hell that he didn't get a team. He should get a million fucking offers this upcoming offseason. But one thing I've noticed about playing against him is like when he's good, he's fucking clean. He is so clean. But I always talk about him as like the guy who, when after his first mistake, his play falls off like super dramatically. Like if he dies in lane, if he gets ganked or if he gets dove, it's kind of like a lot of players would. It's like, oh shit, I got punched in the face. Like now I'm not really sure like how to keep going.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of AD carry, honestly. That's
it depends. I think some ADCs actually don't care, to be honest. I think, for example, like just one example, I'm sure like Karzi, this guy does not care. If he has 8 deaths or 0 deaths, he'll play the same way.
That's awesome.
Which I respect, actually.
Yeah, I respect that.
And I think actually that's one of the qualities you need in every player in a team for a team to work. I feel like even if someone dies, the guy should not care. Just play his own game. And then if your teammates die, then you should not care about why they died and all that. But I feel like it happens a lot where like one guy dies and then he just mental boobs and the game is just way harder already after one guy just dies. And that's why I think just not caring about dying in League is something people should learn, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's like one thing I've always liked about you guys is like it always felt like whenever either of you would like make a mistake, it wouldn't really affect you. And then there are a lot of players out there who try to play that like picture perfect league with 0 deaths, and then it's like 1 death and then they're just playing permanently passive for the rest of the game. They're not going to look for any more opportunities, and like that feels really bad. That always feels really bad. And then I think on an ideal team, everyone on the team like recognizes their mistakes. They're not like, haha, I'm feeding, but like, they know that they're making a mistake, but it's not like they're not getting emotional about it. Like they're not getting affected by it.
Yeah.
So that is.
I mean, that's
important.
for me. Like, I think that's actually the secret of winning. Like, no meme. I think, for example, what Mad had in 2021, where like they were just so good, because even if they were like 0-7 in like scores, they would not give a fucking game, because they would just still play their own game and everyone just does their best, and then they would just have a better macro than everyone else. I think it was also the case with Fnatic against G2 in summer last split, where like our mental was just better than theirs, and I don't even think that on paper were necessarily all 5 players better. I don't think our macro was necessarily better. I just think that they were mentally, I guess, out of it compared to us, where we would not care, like game 5, we can do it. And yeah.
Yeah, you seem to really like
Yeah, you
Matt's
seem to really
mental
like
and how they work.
The team
That's
culture
good.
over there seems to fit you great.
I mean,
Awesome.
it's a good team. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good team.
Nice.
So wait, given the chance, let's say you got an offer for a top 3 LEC team or a top 3 LCS team. Which one would you pick?
LEC.
Jensen?
I mean, in terms of play, LEC, yeah.
No, but like, which one would you pick personally?
Right now, right now LEC, yeah. Right now LEC, yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised. You would uproot your whole life and move back to Europe. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say NA.
Come back.
It was something I was against in the past, but I think now it's something I realized that if there's like actually a good opportunity for it, then it's something I would consider.
Yeah. That makes sense. I think one thing I miss about C9 is I was thinking about the time that you and Sneaky got benched for Keith McBrief and Golden Glue, but now I'm remembering the time where you guys trolled in playoffs by subbing. You had Golden Glue and Zven, and you and Blaber, right? Like, do you think that has anything to do with like C9's systems? I know that was like Reapered more than Jack, right? But
yeah,
yeah, I guess what the fuck was going on? Like, I'm actually confused. And like, what was that system where they just have 2 mid jungles that you're just constantly swapping between?
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird, but at the same time, it wasn't actually too bad, because I'd say both mid and jungles actually had a lot of strengths. It's pretty weird though, because I thought when me and Blaber were playing, we were, the two better players on the team. But then at the same time, when Svenskeren and Golden Glue was playing, they were also the 2 better players on the team. So I would actually say that both mid jungles were like just kind of like outperforming the rest of the team in a way. So it felt like, both should just be on LCS teams, but probably different LCS teams. So I don't know. It was a bit weird, because it was hard to like really justify in my head why I should get subbed out. But then it was more like just for the mental of the team to like change things up a bit. But sometimes it did work.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. You're saying that like it's a strong suit of the team that you get to choose between like 2 really strong mid jungles. Usually when people get subbed out, it's like, how do we fucking get this position to actually be useful? Because it's like, this guy's a fucking zombie in game. Like, we need to switch it up so that we have like a human being instead. Nisqy, have you ever been subbed out, or like have you ever had a 6-man roster? What do you guys think about 6-man rosters?
Actually, it happened once. Actually, I remember I was being so emotional about it. It was in Envy, where I had Pyrian or whatever his name. Yeah, Pyrian, I think. And basically, I was supposed to be the starter, but then my Vs had some issues, so they got someone else, and they thought he was better than me. And then I had to prove myself. But even then, when I was proving myself that I was better, he was still playing. And then that's when I was like, what the fuck? Like, this bullshit. And yeah, at the end, I ended up playing at the end, because I was kind of like, I'm either a play or, I don't really want to be here kind of vibe.
I mean,
because I didn't think it was fair. And yeah,
That's
yeah,
almost
they
like
do.
discriminatory, no? Because that roster had 3 Koreans. It was
So-
Seraph. I guess I should give context. Like, you're talking about 2017. The roster was Seraph, Lyra, you, Apollo, Hakuho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also at the time we didn't have a coach. It was like we had a coach, but he was not the coach. So basically, the players would choose,
yeah.
and the manager had a vote, I think.
Yeah.
But then
Voting
some
system.
players were like pretty biased compared to other players, and then it would just be a shitfest.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds fucking miserable. That's actually so crazy. I didn't even remember that you were on Envy back then.
Yeah.
I
It was
forgot
also
about
my
that too.
first split, so I was like, "Holy LCS, so nice!"
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, it was your first. It was your first debut in like the major league, right? Like from academy.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, that must have been fucking interesting playing on that roster. Korean top jungle and Apollo Hakuho bot lane. I actually heard
Yeah.
a rumor that Apollo and Hakuho are mute.
mute.
Yeah, like they don't talk. Is that true?
Yeah, they didn't talk much.
What happened
So
to them? Are they did they just retire?
I don't know. Aren't they? I don't know. Isn't Apollo playing in academy? I think.
No, I think they're on not even an academy. They're like on amateur teams. Like, I'm not sure
Oh,
actually
maybe.
if Apollo's in academy, but I don't think they're playing super actively anymore. Rest in peace, dude. I thought those
Rip.
guys were actually pretty good. They were always the gatekeepers. Like most LCS bot lanes could not beat Apollo and Hakuho. They were like always like 4th or 5th best. And then
Yeah, they were just like chilling in lane, going even.
yeah, and like honestly, sometimes they would stomp. Like I remember getting stomped by Apollo and Hakuho, and I remember there was a series where Zven and Mythy got stomped by Apollo and Hakuho Thresh. It's like they actually were good at times. So I'm surprised that they couldn't get a team together. Like I think that might even go back to like anti-NA bias. Is like let's just fill up our fucking roster with as many Koreans as or imports as possible, so that we have the maximum amount of imports. And I just obviously I kind of dislike that always, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Rip
Yeah.
NA pride. We need the
Yeah,
NA
I mean
players.
realistically though, I know that like it's kind of troll for me to say that in 2022 because there are not that many like juicy American players coming up. Like you could really say JoJo and Danny are the 2 most exciting as far as like new players. And there's not too much else going on there. I mean Vulcan's been around for like 6 years, guys, so he's not really new. Yeah. Damn, dude, I forgot that you played in LCS way back then. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else is like something similar? I think people have this idea that like Reapered is a really unique kind of coach, and he's also coaching probably the strongest LCS team right now, 100 Thieves. What was your guys' experience like with him?
Go ahead, Jensen.
Okay. I mean, I thought I had him when he first joined an NA team for the very first time, and he was absolutely insane. Like I didn't know coaches could be that useful. So that was like the beginning of my experience with Reapered. But then, I mean, eventually, the system kind of kicked in, and he had like a lot of control, and he could kind of just do whatever he wanted to. And I think sometimes I got the short end of the stick there. There were some things I disagreed with, but I mean he is a really, really smart guy, and he taught me a lot of things in the beginning.
I mean, for me, it was kind of. I mean, I guess it was like the same ish. Where like felt like he would use my potential to the best. That's how I felt with him. Where like he would push me to my limits. Would tell me what I'm good at. He would just tell me what I'm bad at, what I should improve on. All that just makes it easier, I guess, for a player to like improve under him, if that makes sense. And then also he's like he knows when to be serious, he knows when to be troll, knows when to be friendly, and I think is probably one of the best coaches I've had, if not the best.
Yeah, one thing I want to say too is he's like a very honest guy, and
Mhm.
he's very, very quick to judge or decide. So if you play a champion and you played like 1 or 2 games and you're not like doing very well, then that's out the
it's
fucking
gone.
window.
Yeah.
You don't get to touch that again.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, I remember that was kind of how it was when I think was it 2018 when Akali and Aurelia were like became meta mid lane. So it wasn't really played in NA at the time, and we kind of just said like, yeah, you know, we need every single win. So Jensen, you're picking Zillion every single game. So I played Zillion every single game, and then we come to Worlds, and all these, you know, Chinese and Korean mid laners, they're like smurfing on Aurelia, Akali, and I think Aatrox too, right? And it's like, holy shit, like I haven't even played these champions yet. I played like 2 games. It's like, Jensen, no fucking way. Don't touch those champs. We're permabanning it for the rest of the fucking Worlds. So he's very quick to just make decisions like that, which can be a bit annoying because, you know, sometimes it feels like, I mean, maybe we should put some time into it, but nope, fuck that.
Yeah. No one's, I mean, yeah, that seems to be a weakness of his. I mean, no one's gonna be perfect, but it does seem strangely like he delivers results even with his like really fucking unique way to coach a team. He does seem to get good results. I never worked with him, but I worked with Cain, and it's like the similarity is that they're both like top tier world class former Korean players, right? Like, and it's really crazy to me how that is usually the recipe for success. Like, Cain was one of the best coaches I ever had, and I just, yeah, I feel like honestly I miss getting coached by him because I had such a good time with him. I thought he was so smart about the game. I also had like, he also was like very noble, which I know that Reapered is not like this, but like I learned later after I left TL that like Cain intentionally like didn't want to get too close with the players. Like he wanted to be friendly with us, but he would never like want to hang out with us outside of like work events too much because he wanted to maintain that like professional distance between like him and the players so that we would like, you know, so that like he is still in that hierarchy position of authority as the coach, and that we don't like level out as like, you know, all just homies, all friends. And I thought that was like so interesting because that is just not how American people think about coaching. You know, it's like that's such a unique way of thinking about coaching. I really like.
Did someone tell you that from
Yeah.
TO?
Yeah,
wow.
somebody told me that.
Interesting. Maybe he just didn't like you.
Oh fuck, dude! Ow! Headshot, dude.
I really like Cain as well, but it's kind of funny though because he actually used to like work on the Reapered before he joined TL.
Yeah,
So
he did.
he probably has a lot of like ideas from Reapered. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh shit! So you're getting invited to Cain's birthday parties, and I'm not.
we
I
were.
guess.
Yeah, dude. Everyone was there. You just.
Oh
I thought
shit!
you were busy.
Looks like I didn't get the invite. Blows.
I guess not.
No, what do you think about Cain, Jensen?
No, yeah, I thought, yeah, he had this like this mystery to him as well.
Yeah, he's so mysterious.
Like, yeah, but yeah, he was really good. Is he still with Africa?
I
haven't
have
actually
no
heard from him for a
idea,
while.
bro.
That's the last thing I heard about him. He went to Africa, and I was like hoping he'd make it to Worlds.
The last thing I heard about his personal life is he's going back to Korea, and he felt like he was getting old, so it's time to find a wife. And I was like, what the fuck? Is that a real reason to go back to Korea? And he moved back. I think it says he's with, yeah, it says with the Kwangdong Freaks, which is a Freak of Freaks.
Oh wow.
New thing. That's funny.
Hopefully he finds his waifu.
Yep. Gotta find a Korean waifu. Oh, but I never got a real good answer about the. Do you guys think that 6-man rosters are a good thing for professional teams?
I don't like it.
I don't think any players has really ever enjoyed it.
I both tried it from being swapped out and then having other teammates swapped out. So I've like seen both sides of it, and usually it doesn't feel too good, I think. I mean, maybe if you have like the perfect 2 players who have just complete opposite play styles, like, you know, you have like a player like leader and then like a control mage player, like maybe then, right? But even then, it's hard to see the.
I mean, for me, I think for jungle makes sense. I think, for example, when we had Svensker and then Blaber in 2020, or 2019, I think it was. I don't remember. And it was like both of them had like complete different playstyle. One was playing Kindred, Rek'Sai, Lee Sin or whatever, and the other one was playing like Sejuani and tanky junglers. I think that makes sense also when like one of them is like learning from the other one.
Yeah.
I think that's when it actually makes sense. But when they're both competing for a spot, I think it doesn't make really sense.
Well, I mean, that's what it always is with the 6-man roster. Like, the guy who's not playing is looking into the team and thinking, how can I convince the team to play me instead? I feel like if you took the emotional aspect out of it, it should be like 6 players who are happy no matter what, no matter who's playing. And it's like, of course, I just want my team to succeed, even if it doesn't mean, even if I never get to play a single game, you know, I'll sit here on the bench and I'm happy to support the team. But it's like, it doesn't feel that way. I think what it usually feels like, because like we're talking about like real people here, is you're not really incentivized to help the guy who's trying to take your job. Like, you look at the guy on the bench after the game, you're not gonna be like, oh dude, you know, here are the things that I learned and here are the things that you should do so you can get better and take my job. And it's like, that's not happening, you know? Like, it feels like you're almost fighting within the team. So I've never had like a good experience with big rosters.
Also, usually they also have ego. Like, I still remember that thing where like I was talking to Palafox in C9 because I actually did not care sharing whatever. I was thinking about like champions and playstyle and whatever, but not. And then I remember telling her about like a matchup and being like, okay, this is how you play the matchup. And I think it was a champion, like it was Zoe. And I told him, this is how it goes. And I would always get the better like matchup information, and I would tell him, and then he'd be like, I don't think that's how it goes. Or like he would try to like argue. And then I was like, whatever, dude. Play whatever you want, then you know, like just do your thing. Like, I don't care anymore. Because if people want to like improve, they should just listen to the technically better player, right? Or the like starter, I guess.
I mean, that's for sure ego, right? Like he thinks he's better than you. He should play in his mind, and so he's not going to listen to anything you say about the game. He's going to do the exact opposite thing, because it's like he's not going to get better than you by like listening to you. So it's definitely an ego thing. That's stupid as hell. You guys both played with Nisqy, right?
Yeah.
Confirming. I was talking to Nisqy lately about, you know, coming back, because, you know, every single big offseason there's lots of changes, there's lots of opening spots, and I was wondering what you guys thought. Like, do you guys think that Nisqy could still play?
I mean, I haven't really watched him.
I mean, he's watched as fuck now, but like I'm talking about like if he had like 3 months to practice and he was not playing Lost Ark every day, all day.
Probably. He would. I mean, let me think. Cause I actually have no idea like what the 80 carry level is like right now in LCS, but I'd say he could probably play.
80 carry is dog shit in LCS, bro. That's my opinion.
Okay.
It's terrible.
I mean, I think he can for sure come back if he wants to, as long as he doesn't play other games more than League. I think he can probably be one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always had a good work ethic when it came to like balancing League and other stuff. So probably.
Yeah. I think part of it is like after you're out of it for well, it's different for Nisqy because he would need a really big contract, or not a really big contract. I guess I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't speak for him, but like it would need to make sense, right? Like, because Nisqy is a longtime player and he has a legacy, and you're not going to want to join a shit team. Basically, you're not going to want to join like a bottom 2 team. And so I do think players like him could come back after a couple months of practice, dedicated practice, and get back to form. But like, yeah, I think it's always kind of painful to get back into it because he's been streaming for like a year and a half, and he got used to that schedule, he got used to that life, and then like also just it feels bad to like get the fucking like go out and like figure out all the teams that might be interested and then like potentially get rejected. People are afraid of rejection. It doesn't feel good. So yeah, actually I should just ask you, Nisqy, you know, hypothetically, if you were going to join a team next split, hypothetically speaking, how would you go about like starting the process? You know, would you like ask your agent to like ask all 10 LEC teams? Did you reach out, or sorry, would you reach out to them by yourself? Like what, you know, what would the process go like?
I mean, basically, it's like, okay, so I would just talk to like whatever team I think would be interesting, or like I would like tell my agent, okay, I think we should talk to this team. Are they making any changes? Yes or no? Then of course it has to go to like Fnatic as well because I'm still under contract.
Mhm.
And then if they're happy with me, if I'm happy with them, then we just go through like the conditions, and then I just talk to the players. That's something I do a lot. That I feel like not many players do, where like they just talk to the players and figure out what they're doing. Because
Yeah.
like in off season, there's like so many rumors, like crazy amount of rumors, and then I just talk to the person itself, and he's like, nope. I mean, that's not happening.
Mhm.
So that's why I had to talk to everyone, or like you just talk to everyone usually. And figure out if you want to join them or not. And then once you make that decision, usually it goes smooth, unless that team is also looking for like some other player and you're like their plan B or their plan C, then it's a bit awkward. But yeah, usually it's like both teams want each other, and then it happens.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
That makes sense. I was just wondering if like you were doing it yourself, or if you just asked your agent, yo, can you like ask all 10 teams for me on my behalf? It's like a lot of fucking work. Asking
Yeah,
around.
I usually just trust my agent. I just tell him.
All right, take notes, Jensen.
Easier.
Taking notes. Taking notes.
Take notes. I heard Mad Lions is looking for a midlaner. You should probably reach out.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I think you
yeah.
should. Yeah.
Oh,
maybe.
they said they just filled the spot. So
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Damn,
What?
that is
Oh, really?
unlucky. Lucky guy.
yeah, I tried reaching out this morning. Wasn't.
Oh, sucks for you, dude.
Yeah,
For me as well.
Oh man.
for sure, for sure.
Let's see. We're on the towards the end of this. Oh. What do you think, Nisqy, about Big Bwipo? You played with him jungle.
Whip?
Yeah, Big Whip.
Big whip. I mean, I liked the whip a lot actually during the split, and like just how he sees the game and all that. But then to be honest, after everything that happened at Rolls, we didn't really talk. So I don't know where we're at. I mean, he unfollowed me on Twitter. That's what I know. But
Why?
except that,
Wait, why?
I have no idea. I have no idea, dude.
That's so weird.
You should ask him if he comes on here once. Ask.
Okay.
And yeah, but I like him. I think he's a good player as well. He deserves to be team.
Yeah.
Did you experience the coaching firsthand?
Wait, what?
The
Yeah,
coaching.
Wait, what? What do you
Bwipo's
mean? What
girlfriend.
coach? Oh, dude.
Stop drawing on me,
Whatever, dude.
Jensen. Holy
Okay,
shit,
okay,
man.
My bad. I'm
You
trying
already
to
got
help him out
unfollowed.
here.
You want him to get blocked too?
Oh shit, my bad.
That shit is too funny, bro. Bwipo is definitely good. I think he has started to get NA-ified, if you know what I mean. Like where he in the beginning he's like completely out of his mind insane, and then the longer that you play in NA, the more that you
The worse you
become squished to the NA level, you know. And yeah, I'm starting to see it. It's the same thing that happened to Zven when he first came here, and he was insane. Abadage, so many people, you know, they come here, their level is really good. Jensen, he's full
True,
NA now.
true.
Holy shit. No,
Two
but,
NA.
no, it's good to see Bwipo do well. A lot of big personalities. I think it's funny as fuck that well, before it was EG top 3, it was like C9, and there's a stat that it was like there's one American player in the top 3 teams, and it's Blaber, and because at the time it was C9, TL, and 100 Thieves. I thought that was completely hilarious. There was like more Australian Oceanic players in the top 3 teams than there were Americans.
Sucks.
Blower.
That's rough.
But it is really fun to see imports like Bwipo come in. Like he's a fun guy. I like watching him play. I like watching his interviews and stuff. Have you guys ever listened to his comms? I actually have a stupid question because Nisqy was his teammate, but like his comms are especially good.
Yeah. No, this guy's too funny.
Like,
Oh, yeah, it's
useful come? Like, what do you mean? Like,
I just think like he communicates a lot, but it's really clear what he wants. And I think that's actually like a super underrated trait for a player because like sometimes a team just needs a narrator, you know, someone to say, okay, we're doing this, and then we're doing this, and then I'm looking here, and like everyone check, like watch me, I'm about to make the lane volatile, and it's like it's so easy to play with somebody who can just direct the game, who's
like shot casting the game.
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
He's like, guys, look, I'm gonna take this plant and go over here. I'm gonna use my E on this target.
Yeah, and like, I want you guys to do this. It's like so easy to follow his directions, and I think Bwipo's that guy. Definitely good. What's funny though, I think, like a random side note that I kind of think is like it's easier for Bwipo to play with people who are less veterans than it is for him to play on TL, because like that kind of communication works a lot worse, I think, when you're playing with like Reminiscing, Core, JJ, because like those guys are also having their own thoughts the whole time. You know, they're not really used to getting pulled around into someone else's shot casting. They're getting, you know, they're always trying to do it themselves because that's how they've done it on their teams for the last like 5 years. So I feel like that's maybe why part of the reason why TL is like not the super team that everyone expected.
it's a comms issue. Fuck the veterans.
Playstyle.
Yeah.
No, that's good though. All right, I think I'm out of juice on this of topics. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say?
Yeah, I just have one question. When will we see the return of a Doublelift to LCS for Elite?
Yeah, true.
No,
I
dude.
saw a rumor today on Reddit, so.
What?
Really?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I saw that you're going back to TSM.
Okay, you're trolling. I would not take Eddie's job like that. No, guys. Everyone always asks me this. I don't know.
Just come to EU, dude. Just come to EU.
Maybe that's happening.
Imagine Jensen and Doublelift in EU in the same team. Holy moly, what a banger.
That would be a totally banger. You know, I've thought about that. I will say though that like for me, if playing pro is a 9.5, then right now streaming for me is like a 9.4. You know, it's like playing pro is still a little tiny bit better, but not really that much. And I always think of it as like, what team is gonna want to take the risk on me? Like I would not join a shit team. I want to join like a top team. And so like, what top team is gonna want to take the risk? It's like hard to see it. But I do think I could be the best with a couple months of practice. I think it's like similar to Bjergsen. You know how he said like, when he joined Team Liquid, he told his teammates like, yeah, guys, I fucking suck right now because I didn't play for a year, but I'm going to go boot camp and I'm going to go practice for a couple months and then I'll be back to form. I think that's what it is. You know, it's kind of similar. I feel like for you guys too, it's like you didn't scrim for a whole split, right? So maybe it's going to take you a few weeks or even like a month of scrimming before you can get back to the level that you think you should be at. But like for me, it's like, it's more than a split. So
true. You're also from NA, so
and I'm from NA.
That's harder as well.
I'm open to the idea for sure, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I think the sad thing too is I'm not sure what the future is for LCS. I think LCS has a pretty healthy future. I'm not sure about LCS, so it's like really uncertain. But like streaming is like the end game, you know. Like you can be a content creator till you're like fucking 45.
You could play League till you're 45.
Yeah,
Sure.
If I want to go to an insane asylum.
Dude, that's actually one thing I
Hospital.
feel like that's like worse about League than other games. Like it's actually like just you need to have a strong mental for League. I feel like for other like games professionally, like sure having mental is important, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like if you lose, you can blame yourself a lot, right? But it's like a lot of things that happen in League is just like out of your control.
Yeah.
But don't you think you can play League even though you're like 40?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, imagine you're like 40 years old. There's this like 18-year-old upcoming rookie, and you like just beat him up,
Shit
you know,
on him.
like a skill matchup. Like how good would that feel, you know?
Oh yeah, that would feel hilarious. No, Lena asked me once, is like, are you gonna play League as an old man? You know, like fucking, I'm like 50, 60 and playing League. Like I'm just, like, the game is easy, you know. Like we're not talking about a fucking FPS game. We're talking about League, guys. Like it's really not the hardest game as soon as you understand it. Obviously getting like super perfect, like playing like fucking Guma Yusi or playing like Fakery, that's hard, but like no. I don't think I'll ever like not be fucking challenger level at the minimum. But maybe that's just my ego talking. Good question, Jensen.
Thank you.
Good question. All right. Thank you guys for being on the podcast. I think that's a wrap for Trash Talk episode 5. Really appreciate you guys' time. Any last words? Nisqy, let's start with you.
Thanks for inviting me. It was fun. Hopefully me and Jensen get back to competitive play in next split.
Oh, I'm really praying for you especially, man.
And if I do so, then see you guys at World.
Oh yeah. Jensen?
Yeah. This is like an interview. Thank you guys for watching and thanks for having me. It's been an honor, and I hope to see you guys in summer, hopefully.
You're cringe, bro.
Damn.
Free agent Jensen. Get him while he's hot. All right, thank you guys. Peace. It was a good time.
Thank you.
Later.
Yeah.
Bye.